Hey everybody, this is your Digital Super Saiyan 3 back here with another video, and today we get to my July pay-per-view review of the Retro Pay-Per-View Review Series. And today we got a real stinker for ya. We marked the 20th anniversary of this show, WCW Bash at the Beach 1999. Took place July 11th, 1999 in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the Car Rental Arena. On commentary, you got Bobby the Brain Heenan, Tony Schiavone, and of course, over at the Junkyard, calling a specific match that takes place on this show is the Professor Mike Tenay. So, Bash at the Beach 1999, let's get into this stinker. Well, we start off with an opening match between the Disco Inferno and Ernest the Cat Miller. And yes, Ernest the Cat Miller had Sonny Ono with him out at ringside. Most of it was just dancing and a lot of just brawling, generic. It wasn't even that good of a match. It was a very sloppy opening match, and Ernest the Cat Miller won. So yeah, it was the battle of the dancing gimmicks. Ernest the Cat Miller won with a James Brown shoe, one of his red shoes that he put on his foot and kicked the Disco Inferno right in the face. So Ernest the Cat Miller wins. Our next match is a match for the WCW World's Television Championship. As the champion, Rick Steiner defeats Van Hammer in a very forgettable match. The only memorable part of this match was the finish, where Rick Steiner bit Van Hammer in the balls. Then Rick Steiner delivered a bulldog, his patented bulldog, to get the victory. So yeah, Rick Steiner retains the WCW World's Television Championship. Next up, we get another bad match on this show. And we have the United States title as David Flair, who was the WCW United States Champion, defeating the more experienced and more deserving Dean Malenko. So yes, David Flair, who has an entourage of Torrie Wilson, his father, Ric Flair, Arn Anderson, Asia, who's this blonde knockoff of China, who's supposed to be WCW's equivalent of China, but clearly wasn't as good as China, and Rowdy Piper. They all help out David Flair. David Flair gets the victory. And yeah, Dean Malenko, who is among the workhorses of WCW, this is how he gets treated. He loses to an undeserving piece of crap like David Flair. Fuck David Flair. You know, my favorite David Flair moment was when he got his ass whooped by The Undertaker. That was it. So yeah, this match was crap. Anything with David Flair would be crap. Next up, we got an 8-man elimination tag team match as the No Limit Soldiers, featuring Conan, Brad Armstrong, Swall, who was the bodyguard of Master P, and an unmasked Rey Mysterio. Yes, Rey Mysterio in 1999 was fucking unmasked. Taking on the West Texas Rednecks, which featured Kurt Hennig, Barry Windham, Kendall Windham, and Bobby Duncombe Jr. So yeah, Rey Mysterio and Swall were the last guys remaining for the No Limit Soldiers in this 8-man elimination tag match. And yeah, I'm glad Rey Mysterio was the one who got the victory for the team. Nothing more to be said. Next up, we get the big reason why I wanted to do this show. We get the Junkyard Invitational. It's a fucking hardcore match in a junkyard, as Hardcore Hack threw a it made a huge invitational to any hardcore wrestler to be the most hardcore guy in WCW, as it was Hack, Lord Steven Regal, Dave Taylor, Cyclope, La Parka, freaking Fit Finley, Brian Knobbs, Hugh Morris, Rocco Rock, Johnny Grunge. You have a whole bunch of guys in a junkyard having to beat the hell out of each other with different weapons and stuff. This was a clutter. This definitely served as the template known as the Hardcore Battle Royale that we would see a year later for the WWF at WrestleMania 2000. I think this match was what inspired the Hardcore Battle Royale at WrestleMania 2000. I think this match was even worse than the Hardcore Battle Royale. Compared to the Hardcore Battle Royale, at least the guys in that match were fighting for something. What were they fighting for? Well, the way to win the Hardcore Battle Royale, or to win the hardcore match in the Junkyard, you have to escape the Junkyard. And yes, this whole match was shot by a freaking helicopter, as there was a helicopter having to shoot this whole thing. And the winner was Fit Finley, who won a trophy full of... He won a trophy made of fucking garbage. He won a fucking garbage trophy. So next up, now we get back to the arena as our next set of matches. And we got a really good tag team match on this show for the WCW Tag Team Championships, as the Jersey Triad of Kanyon, Diamond Dallas Page, and Bam Bam Bigelow defeat Chris Benoit and Perry Saturn to retain the tag team titles. And a really, 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 really awesome match this was. This was an awesome tag team match. It was a 2-on-3 handicap match, but even so, it was the best match of this entire shit show. And it was a really good match. Next up, we get a boxing match on this show. And this is the third pay-per-view in a row that this guy appeared on. It was Rowdy Roddy Piper taking on Buff Bagwell in a boxing match with special guest referee Mills Lane. Yes, America's Judge Mills Lane was refereeing this match. And like the whole thing about boxing matches on a wrestling show, it was pure shit. In Roddy Piper's corner, he had Ric Flair. In Buff Bagwell's corner, he had his mother, Judy Bagwell. And get this, Buff was actually the babyface in this match. Let me repeat that. Buff Bagwell was the freaking babyface, and he got the victory over Roddy Piper. And no, it wasn't a knockout, it was a fucking pinfall after he hit his finishing move, the blockbuster, the Buff Bluster, whatever the hell it's called. So, Buff Bagwell gets the victory via pinfall. I don't remember the idea of a boxing match ending by a pinfall. And now we get the main event. It was a tag team match as the team of world champion Kevin Nash teaming with the Icon Sting to take on Macho Man Randy Savage and Sid Vicious. And this tag team match was just a pure clusterfuck, because also in this match, Kevin Nash put the WCW World Heavyweight Championship on the line. And get this. So basically, any three men could pin Nash, basically that were in the match. Sting could pin Nash, and he can become the world champion. Savage can pin Nash, or Sid Vicious can pin Nash. Basically, because in the weeks leading up to this match, Nash is paranoid that he can't trust Sting, and yada yada. So out first comes Savage and Sid, who are flanked by Medusa, Miss Madness 99, who was actually Molly Holly, and Gorgeous George. And then out comes Sting and Kevin Nash. And yes, so the fate of your world title gets to be decided in a goddamn tag team match. And it wasn't a very good match either. Anyway, yeah, Savage is the one who picks up the victory. Randy Savage is the new WCW World Heavyweight Champion, though it would not last long because Hulk Hogan would come back from injury, he would beat Savage on Nitro, and Hogan would become the World Champion. So, yes, this has been my review of Bash at the Beach 1999. Final thoughts? The show is just painfully stupid. I mean, I never thought I actually would see something this stupid. I would expect something this stupid from Vince Russo, but here's the thing. Russo didn't come to WCW until October. So yeah, this was before Vince Russo. Anyway, this has been your Digital Super Saiyan 3, and I will see you next time.